Hey, how you doing? Hey, I gotta tell you something. If you've ever, if do you ever get down? Do you ever get down? I should tag. I want to tag Sharon Lecter, but she gets tagged so much. I don't want to do that to her tonight. But I gotta tell you, I did a replay of my interview with Sharon Lecter today. And Sharon, if you don't know who she is the co-author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. She wrote Think and Grow Rich for Women and several other books with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. She sat on the Presidential Advisory Committee on financial literacy for President Bush and Obama. She's an amazing lady. And she talks in her... what's up, Dan Kelleher? Billy Keefe, is it Keefe? Yeah. Nicolay Scott, what's up? So Sharon was talking about how to immediately increase your self-confidence. And it was really, really cool. What's up, Ermelo? How you doing, man? I know you're going to say cheers, so cheers to you, bro. Cheers to you. So, but, she's talking in there about, I knew you'd say cheers. See, I knew it. So she talked in the interview. It was a replay that I did today. And she talks about how to immediately increase your self-confidence. Look, as human beings, every single one of us goes through it. We all have those days. Yesterday, I had a weird day. I mean, it was just a weird day. You ever have those where you're like, man, it just doesn't feel like things are going right. Things just didn't like things just, it just, I mean, some things obviously went right. I woke up, I wasn't dead. I had some amazing conversations. I made a couple of great new clients. I've got some really amazing things happening, but there's times maybe when things aren't moving as quickly as you want them to, and you start that self-doubt talk. What's up, Michael Anthony? How you doing, man? And Sharon was talking today, it was the replay from May, but she, talked about changing your physical state. Like, whenever you start feeling down, there's a couple of things that I do. Number one, I follow her advice, which is, standing in the Superman stance. Like you can stand, with your fists on your hips in that Superman stance for a couple of minutes. And if you do, it's literally scientifically proven. Greg Crane, what's up? Hey, what's going on, up there in Canada? What's up, Scott Kelly? So, she talks about that, like standing in the Superman stance, like for a couple of minutes and just like feeling that, right? Changing your physical state. Or throwing your arms up in the air like a marathon or a race, somebody that just won a race would do, throwing your arms up in the air. And another thing that I do is something that Grant Cardone talks about a lot, and that is write your goals down. What's going on, Jason Alt? How's it going, brother? So, write your goals down. And whenever I get into that place, it's typically because there's something that I'm not being productive enough, or I'm not, whatever it is. It can be a number of things, right? So you gotta write down what it is you're feeling and what is list out all of your things that you need to get done, that you need to accomplish. And then, with laser-like focus, I mean, there's times, because Facebook and all of the different social medias, they can be incredibly distracting. So there's times when I'll close the tabs down. I don't have any of it open, none of it. And I just work. You gotta be productive. And I think that, one of the big things for me, I like to be very creative. I'm actually sitting here right now working on something, and it's requiring some creativity. And sometimes I'll be in that place where it's like, man, I got a block. I can't figure out why I got this block. And then I got out in the driveway, I've got a basketball court. I'll go outside, I'll open up the garage, I'll get the basketball, and I'll just shoot hoops for 15, 20 minutes, get the blood pumping, get some things going. What's up, Jim Weaver? Richie Bello, what's going on? Randy Hunt is in the house. What's going on, y'all? So, like, those are some things that you've got to, like, you gotta get the blood moving, man. You gotta get stuff moving to get creative, to get unstuck, because we all get stuck. That's why I created the show Breakthrough Walls. It's to help people get unstuck. And I have literally interviewed some, absolutely amazing people. Like I did the replay with Sharon Lecter today. There's Dr. Jason Dean. What's going on, bro? Like I had her on. I've had so many amazing people, and they all talk. What's up, Aaron Beachy? They all talk about the same things. They talk about it all begins right here, and it all ends right here too. Dude, I need you on the show, okay? Like, everybody start putting some social pressure on Dr. Jason Dean, because that dude right there, for real, is a badass. He is amazing. So, like, he needs to get on my show. Y'all tell him. So, what's up, Kathy Daly, Sandy Lewis? Hey, what's going on? So, like, you've got to get your energy up. People, and I get there. Trust me, I get there. We all get there. When things aren't going the way you think they should be going fast enough, or whatever. I mean, we all get there. We all get caught up in that mindset of worry. And here's something that Sharon Lecter said, and again, I replayed her interview today on Breakthrough Walls. You guys got to go watch it, because she says in the interview, she says, when you worry, it's literally praying for what you don't want to have happen. Think about that. When you worry, it's the opposite of faith. So you're literally like praying, you're focusing energy on what you don't want. And the more you focus on that, the more you attract what you don't want. Excuse me. So make sure that if you find yourself in a worrisome state, if you find yourself in a state, remember that no matter who you are, no matter where you are in life, no matter where you are on the socioeconomic scale, no matter what is going on in your life, we all hit those blocks. We all hit those walls. We all get those moments where it's like, it's like, man, is it not going to work the way that I really like? I just went to this Grant Cardone thing, and I came back so motivated and fired up, and then I went to Tony Robbins and I walked on fire, and then I heard Lisa Copeland speak, and I heard Sharon Lecter speak, and I came back, I was all fired up and ready to go, and then boom, what happens? All life starts kicking back in, right? Because the 3 days you were away, you were like walking on fire, and you were, drowning in Grant Cardone's unbelievable energy, and you were all of these great things are happening, and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing, and things are not going the way you want them to go fast enough. And so what happens? Worry sets in. You start worrying that, oh no, maybe I made the wrong decision to try to blow up, or maybe I made the wrong decision to hire this person or this new team, or maybe and you start doubting. And what that is literally, like Sharon Lecter said, you're literally praying for the things that you do not want to have happen. And when you do that, you start attracting those things. So, I'm telling you, like, we all get there. I don't even remember. What did I title this? I don't even remember. What did I title this video? Now I'm worried. Oh, how to increase your self-confidence. How to increase yourself. Yes, depression can set in, and depression's literally all about what's going on in your mind. So you've got to stop it. Like when you start worrying, and again, worry is the exact opposite of faith. Like I have faith. I don't know what, define it with whatever you want to define it with. I don't care. Like you can, I call it God. You can call it, I don't care what you call it. We all know, I think most people can agree. And if you don't agree, you probably will when you're dead. But I think we can all agree that there is definitely some sort of a much higher being than us, right? That created all of this. And so like when you worry, you start worrying or you get fearful about stuff that's not happening as fast as you want it to happen, or in the time frame that you want it to happen, that's the opposite of faith. You're praying for things that you don't want to have happen. That's what Sharon Lechter said, and I love that. I love that. And she said, change your physical state. It's like her and I, we were talking on the interview. I asked her, about, she knows Tony Robbins, and we were talking about how he gets on a little mini trampoline, and before he goes out on stage, man, he gets fired up. And Grant Cardone, you've all seen him. He's freaking unbelievable. His energy. I've seen Sharon Lechter. I've seen, Lisa Copeland. I've seen all these amazing people, these speakers, and they don't walk out all mopey, even though things may not be going right in life. They may not be going right for them. They may not be happening right now. They may not be happening in the speed that they want them to happen in, but they still remain very, very, very upbeat. They remain very high energy. So you've got to do that. You've just got to do that. And whatever it takes, because honestly, if you start getting down, in the dumps, then it's just going to continue. It's a spiral. So throw your hands in the air and celebrate. If you wake up tomorrow morning, I hope that you do. I hope I do, right? Because I feel like I have so much more left to do on this planet to help a lot more people. And so if you wake up and I wake up, get up in the morning and throw your hands up in the air and thank whatever God you believe in for another day and another opportunity to help other people. So that, for me, like that's what it's about. Like I don't monetize my show. I'm not, even though a lot of people have asked me, hey, can we sponsor your show? Can we, I've had companies reach out to me. I don't monetize it. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in helping people, because I know that if I help enough other people, I'm friends now with Zig Ziglar's daughter, Julie Norman Ziegler. And I love that woman. She is an amazing woman. And Zig Ziglar changed my life many, many, many years ago. Aaron Beachy says, start being thankful for things you don't yet have if you want to grow in faith. Amen, dude. Amen. You're right. So, Zig Ziglar said, if you can have everything that you want in life, if you will just help enough other people get what they want in life. And that is so absolutely true. Like when you start feeling down, when you start feeling like, oh man, things aren't going my way, or blah, 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 you got to do something to get out of yourself. Because it is 1,000% impossible. It's impossible, literally impossible, for you to be depressed or sad, or or whatever that negative emotion is that you feel. It's impossible for you to have that and feel that and live that and experience that if you are actively involved in helping other people get what they want out of life. I promise you that. So look, stand in the Superman pose. Stand and you may not want to do that in front of your family. They might lock you up. But, stand in the Superman pose for a couple of minutes and puff your chest out and feel it. You got to feel it. You got to dig deep and feel it. And then, throw your hands in the air and celebrate like you just won a race. Do it. Yell out. I mean, I remember watching Grant Cardone do a seminar or webinar or something in Cancun. I think it was Cancun, and this several years ago. But he's like telling everybody, you need to own it. Like, own it. Like, say, I am the greatest. Say it. Own it. Believe it. Because the more you say it, I am the greatest. I am the greatest. The more you say that, at first it may feel like a bunch of BS to you. It may feel like, like, man, I don't feel like I'm the greatest. It doesn't matter. Keep saying it until you believe it. And then take the actions that are necessary to make yourself the greatest at whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. You've got to take the actions. You've got to take the actions to become the greatest at whatever it is that you want to be the greatest at. Once you start doing that, once you start taking those actions, once you start doing the little things like Sharon Lechter, I mean, look, don't believe me. You don't have to believe me. Maybe believe her. She sold over 30 million books. That's pretty significant. I don't know anybody else that sold 30 million books. She was, she co-authored Rich Dad, Poor Dad, one of the most famous books on the planet. She wrote Think and Grow Rich for Women. What's going on, Jeff Sims? And she tagged me in a post today, blew my mind, and said, because she saw I did the replay of her interview. So, say that, be that, do the Superman stance, throw your arms in the air and celebrate. I don't care if you won or not. Doesn't matter. If you didn't win yet, don't worry about it. You will. You will win. You've just got to, right now, you got to believe it. You got to feel it. It does not happen until you believe it. I promise you, it doesn't happen until you believe it. You will see it once you believe it. You've got to believe it first. You're not the greatest. I am. All right, Carl. But hey, guess what? In my world, I am the greatest. So look, it's and that's the other thing is don't compare yourself to others. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody else thinks of me. I don't compare myself to others at all. I live my life every single day to be the best that I can be for me and for my family, for my business and my clients and the people that work with me. And that's it, man. That's it. And, I don't need to impress God. God is God. I don't need to tell God how great he is. He already knows. For the love of God, he's God. So I don't need to tell him, I know my God doesn't have an ego problem, so I don't have to tell God how great he is. He already knows. And if he doesn't, then I picked the wrong God. How's that for some controversy? I'm just kidding. He knows, right? God, hey man, I'm God. I kind of got this. Thanks though. It's I saw this guy talk one time. He's like, dude, if you walked into a room and your kids were down on their knees worshiping you, saying, we're not worthy to be in your presence. Oh, you're amazing. What would you say? If I'd tell my kids, I'd be like, get up. Why don't you run the vacuum cleaner? Get a job. What? I don't need to know that. Thank you, but I love you girls, but don't do that. That's so. But anyway, I thought that was funny. But look, you want more self-confidence in life, you've got to do the things that create self-confidence. If you don't read something positive. Remember GIGO, G-I-G-O, garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you're feeding your mind with is what's going to come out in your life. So you got to feed your mind with books, man. I may be biased, but I suggest you start with Walls of Wisdom, Turning Pain into Profit. You can get that on Amazon. That's a great book. I got to tell you, this book right here by Chris Saraceno, The Theory of Five. This book is solid gold. I'm reading it right now. I'm not reading it fast enough. Chris is asking me for a review, and I'm like, bro, it's a thick book, man. I'm reading it, though. It's a good book. Feed your mind. Look, The Little Red Book of Sales Answers by Jeffrey Gitomer. The Little Red Book of Selling by Jeffrey Gitomer. All these books over here. Look at all these books over here. All of these books over here. I just got this one in tonight by my new friend Edwin. Sent me his book, Power Branding Secrets. Edwin Dearborn sent this to me. I'm looking forward to reading that. How to Make Shit Happen by my buddy Sean Whalen. Sean Whalen right there. Boom. Like, feed your mind with stuff that's going to help you grow. Who wrote Walls of Wisdom? I wrote Walls of Wisdom, yo. Come on, man. That's my book. So, like, you gotta feed your mind, man, with powerful stuff. Hey, what's up, Brian Hess? Speaking of badasses, we got Brian Hess in the house. That dude just spent like 6 days of no sleep. Like none. I don't know. I think he probably slept a couple hours here and there, but that dude right there, you want to talk about somebody that gets it? Brian Hess gets it. Okay? The only way to get out of the dumps, the only way to raise your self-esteem is start doing things that give you higher self-esteem. Period. Like I'm listening to another book. I'm listening because I can't obviously read a book while I'm driving, so I'll listen to a book when I'm in the car. And I'm friends with Bob Berg and his co-author John David Mann. I just became Facebook friends with John David Mann, and he co-authored a book with a Navy SEAL called I think it's called Conquering Fear. And oh my gosh, it is an unbelievable book. It's really a great book. This dude is amazing. What's up, Brian Schneider? Hank West, what's going on? 50 miles of walking on 11 hours sleep in 3 days. Dude, that's it, man. That's what it takes. That's whatever it takes, bro. That's it. And so, like, you've got to do the things that, again, people don't just, there's not like this little magical, what's going on, bro? Good to see you, Brian. There's not like this little what do they call the guy, the Lucky Charms guy? What are those things? What are they called? The little I keep wanting to say unicorn, not a unicorn. What the hell are they called? The little Lucky Charms dude. Anyway, leprechaun. There's not like a little leprechaun running around and waving a magic wand over Ken Wall's life or Grant Cardone's life or Jeffrey Gitomer's life or Brian Hess's life or some. There's no magic in it. There's no luck. Zig Ziglar once said, I do believe in luck. He said, I'll tell you what, the harder you work, I believe the harder you work, the luckier you get. Okay, so like when there is luck when it comes to that, right? There is luck when it comes to that. Luck comes in when you're working your face off. When you sleep 11 hours in 3 days and walk 50 miles and tear up a bunch of asphalt and put a bunch of new asphalt down like Brian's done. Like, dude, that's insane. He's at 3:15 in the morning. I'm still sitting here working. What's up, Tristan? How you doing? I'm sitting here working at 3:15 in the morning. It pops up. Brian Hess is freaking live. I'm like sitting here ready to fall asleep going, I got to get to bed. And Brian Hess pops up on Facebook that he's live. And I'm like, dude, what? What's up, man? Brian Hess is live. I couldn't even believe it. Jack Gotchi, how you doing, man? So like, you gotta do the things that other people aren't willing to do. If you want success, you got to do what other people aren't willing to do. If that means you stay up and work until 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning, or you stay up all night like Brian had to with his crew, working 3 nights, I think, in a row, 2 or 3 nights. What's up, Velco? Like, you got to do those things. You got to read the books. Read the books, man. Read the books. Listen to the books. If you're in your car and you're jamming, because, man, I gotta relive the 80s. I got to have me some AC/DC. Like, dude, what? Like, listen to something that's gonna educate you. And I love AC/DC, man. I love AC/DC. I love Willie Nelson. I love the Eagles. I love it all, man. I love it all. I love some Jay-Z. I love it all, okay? But I educate myself. I spend time educating myself. Now, there are some arrogant people on this planet, and I know some of them, that think they know everything and they don't need to read, they don't need to listen, they don't need to invest in courses, they don't need to do all that stuff. And you know what? They crash and burn. They never really truly experience real financial freedom. And you know, I'll tell you something that I love about Sharon Lechter. I heard her say in this video the other day, she says, Tony Rosado, how you doing? She didn't say that. I said that. She said if you, once you have income producing assets that are producing income for you on a monthly basis that exceed your expenses, then you are on the road to financial freedom. That's what I'm working for. That's what I'm working for right there. I want freedom. Like, I don't care. Take anybody that says, well, you know, I love what Grant says about when somebody's like, hey, Grant, you know, money ain't everything. He goes, I always look at him and say, you broke, aren't you? Like, yeah, tell somebody can't buy a peanut butter sandwich, can't finance a bologna sandwich. Tell somebody that money ain't everything when they can't eat or they haven't eaten in days. Tell them money ain't everything. Money is everything. Making money is what will set you free. When you have the freedom, when you have the multiple flows of income coming in, and you no longer have to worry, which, like I said, Sharon Lechter said, is praying for the very things that you do not want is what worry's all about, right? So like when you focus on how do I achieve the freedom, I'm not talking about walk around like in love with money, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about freedom. And there's nothing in the world better. And I'm not there right now. I'm working my butt off to get there. I'm telling you, I'm working hard. But I'm not there. I'm not in that place where I can just take my family and jump on a plane and go anywhere in the world that we want to go. We're not there. And you know, I hope to get there someday. I know I'll be there. All I have to do is keep doing what I do, and that is work my face off, keep putting out unbelievable product to my clients. Like, you know, Jim Weaver, we just built a website for Jim, and he loves it. I think he still loves it. I know he loves it. And Lisa Copeland, we did LisaCopeland.com. We did women in, what is it called? Oh my gosh, Cars Her Way, carsherway.com. We did that. They love our products that we're putting out, right? And as long as you continue to put out good product, you work super, super hard, work your face off, and you're a good person, and you do everything that you can to help other people, then you're going to have everything that you want in life. You literally are. So when you're feeling down, when you feel like you're not good enough or it's not happening fast enough, man, take some action. Don't sit back and let that feeling sink in. If you sit back and allow that feeling to sink in, and you entertain that thought over and over and over, well, that's when you're going to spiral into a depression. That's when you're going to spiral into attracting more bad things in your life until eventually you come to your senses, and you go, oh, I've been kind of in this funk. Hey, Tiffany! Oh my God, there's Tiffany Oibai. I haven't seen her in like forever on one of my streams. What up? So like you've got to get out of that place like as fast as you can. You know, I remember Grant saying one time, like, you know, he said, man, my mom told me once that, like, hey, when you're going through hell, you got to stomp on the gas, man. You got to get through it as fast as you can. Well, how do you increase that? How do you do that? How do you pick up speed when things aren't going well, when you're feeling down, when you're feeling depressed, when you don't have the motivation, when you don't have the self-confidence, you don't have all of that self-esteem, whatever. Hey, Jennifer, when you don't have that, how do you get it? The way that you get it is you have to increase your activity. You have to get up. You have to do what Sharon Lechter said. Do the Superman or the Wonder Woman pose with both fists on your hips and your arms out. Puff your chest out. Stand up straight and breathe it in and start thinking the positive thoughts of what you are attracting, what's going great in your life. You got to do that. You got to throw your hands up in the air like a champion. Like Eric Brower, he's a champion right there. Like Karen Berry, she's a champion. Like you just won a foot race or a bicycle race, or you just won something. Throw your hands in the air and celebrate it. Even if you have nothing in your mind to celebrate yet, you've got to celebrate it here before it happens. Once you start celebrating it here, once you start manifesting it here, it will come to fruition. It just takes time, and it takes time of having the right attitude. Most people, things start going wrong, right? You might get a little bit of traction, then things start going wrong. They don't go perfect. They don't go the way you want them to go, right? That happens to all of us, right? So when that starts happening, what do most people do? When it starts going wrong, what do most people do? They start mentally mulling it all over. And they'll get silent. They'll go somewhere and be secluded away from other people. And they'll think about it. And then they'll project all of the possible bad things that could happen. And they'll project like, oh, what's going to happen next week because Eric Brower didn't hire me to do his website, or what's going to happen because, blah, blah, blah. Or, oh man, somebody said something bad about me. And so like, oh no, this is going bad, or this is, and then you start that whole process. And then what happens is you start going down and down, your emotions, everything starts sinking. You don't feel like throwing your hands up and acting like you're a champion. You don't want to put your fists on your hip and do the Superman pose. You don't want to pick up one of the very best books ever written in the world, Walls of Wisdom, Turning Pain into Profit. Look, that's my book. That's a shameless plug. You don't want to pick up the Little Red Book of Selling. You don't want to go pick up the Sell or Be Sold, or Zig Ziglar's Secrets of Closing the Sale, or Ask Gary V's book back there, or Jack Canfield, The Success Principles. You don't want to pick those up and read them. You don't want to do that. You want to feel sorry for yourself. Scott Simons, how in the world are you, bro? So you don't want to do those things. You just go in, you fall into the abyss. And as you fall into the abyss, everything starts collapsing with you. And as everything starts to collapse with you, you get more and more and more depressed until one day, you either pull your head out of your rear end and take responsibility for your life. Tristan, the very first chapter in the book, The Success Principles, what is it? It's take 100% responsibility for every single outcome in your life, right? Once you take responsibility for every outcome in your life, and you stop blaming external circumstances and external people and external things, people, places, and things, you stop blaming and you start taking responsibility for yourself and every outcome in your life, guess what? Life gets better. But you don't have to go into the abyss. You can stop it right now. You can stop it right now. Dude, it's my favorite too. And here's the thing. Like, it's so important they made it the first chapter of the book, right? That's how important it is. Like, it's the most important thing you can do in your life. And if you do that one thing where you're like, okay, I'm not blaming anyone or anything. I take full responsibility for it. She cheated on me. I saw the red flags. I knew it. I chose to ignore it. That's me not taking responsibility. Or he cheated on her. She saw the red flags. You know it happened. This was going bad. That was going bad. Don't pretend like you didn't know. You knew. You knew. And if you don't take responsibility for your life, Alex Payne, what's up, bro? Then guess what? You're going to have really, really, really bad, crappy things happen in your life as a result of it. So take responsibility. When you're feeling down, do something creative. Create more whatever product you have or sell or do more of that. well, I've knocked on 600 doors in the last 3 days, and everybody's slamming the door in my face, and I just don't. Every phone call I make, they're mean, and dude, make some more. Like, that's life. Like, so what? But I was abused. So what? So was I. So what? That's life. Get over it. Move on. You've got to move on, man. If you don't move on, you're not going to move up. I promise you. So let it go, man. Read something good. Read a book that's going to motivate you. Read one of Grant Cardone's books. Read the 10X Rule. Read Sell or Be Sold. Read Jeffrey Gitomer's Little Red Book of Selling. Read my book's the shortest of all of them. It's only 74 pages. It won't take you long. It's Walls of Wisdom, Turning Pain into Profit. Read these things, man. Get material in your hands and in your life that's going to pump you up. The book I was just telling you about, like, what's it called? Why can't I remember that? It's something about fear, getting past fear. It's co-authored by John David Mann. Somebody help me out here. Conquering Fear. That's it. By John David Mann. I'm telling you, read that. Listen to that book. It's John David Mann and this Navy SEAL, this Brandon Webb. Holy crap! I mean, this book is solid. Read 50 Shades of Grey. No, dude, come on, man. No, don't read that. I mean, I guess you can read that, but I don't know how that's going to help you. But anyway, and maybe it will help you creatively in other ways. I don't know. But I'm saying, do the things that the giants. Sharon Lecter, the whole reason I replayed her interview this morning from where I interviewed her in May. And look, the woman sold over 30 million books. She was on the Presidential Advisory Committee on Financial Literacy for 2 presidents of the United States. She's been in the Oval Office. She's for real. She's the real deal, right? And she says it, do the Superman stance where you put both fists on your hips and stand there for 2 minutes and smile and feel it. And then, throw your hands in the air and say, I'm a champion. Do whatever you have to do. Do whatever you have to do to get unstuck, because everything is dictated. Everything in your life is going to be dictated by what's going on up here and what's happening down here. You get this and this, your heart and your mind, you get those two in alignment. You get those two things to connect. And I'm telling you, everything in your life is going to be magical. It will be magical. You just got to take the action, and you got to take the right level of action. So, hey, that's all I got for you. Scott Kirkpatrick, how you doing, man? Thank you for being on here. Eric Brower, go read 50 Shades of Grey. Oh, my Lord. So, listen, thank you, guys. I appreciate all of you. I hope... Hey, Jason Hallen's in the house. What's happening, bro? So what's up, man? I'm getting ready to sign off now, bro. I'm signing off, but look, I gave some tips that I've learned from some of the big dogs, and I pay attention to those people. Tristan, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Robert Brooker, thank you. I appreciate all of you. Yeah, you need self-confidence. Yeah, that's the first thing I think of when I think of Jason Hallen. That poor dude, he's so depressed. No, man. But there are people that get there, right? And there's an easy way to get unstuck. There's an easy way to get unstuck. Walls of Wisdom, Sell or Be Sold, and 10X. That's it. In that order. So, just do the things like Conquering Fear, that book by John David Mann. I saw my friend Kathy Tajanel. She works with Bob Berg and John David Mann, and she's amazing. And she posted that book. It's called Conquering Fear, written by Brandon Webb. He's a Navy SEAL, and co-authored by John David Mann. Excuse me. And oh my gosh, it is so freaking good. Listening to this book, there's times when I just listen to 15 minutes of it, just to It's so good. I mean, it's filled, just packed with, like, Navy SEALs aren't just like crazy. They literally have to overcome fear. They have to overcome the fear that they feel, and they have to get through it. So Walls of Wisdom will change your life, dude. Hopefully for the better. So, like, you've got to take action, man. When I decided to write my book, I literally, after 25 plus years of being told, Ken, you need to write a book, and saying, oh, I'm going to write a book, after 25 years of doing that, I finally said, I'm writing a book, and I'm writing it right now, and I'm giving myself 7 days to complete it. Now, I did not wait until the 7th day to start writing that book. I did not wait until the 5th day. I started immediately that night. I started that night writing my book. And I was finished. It took me about 10 days. I missed the goal. Right? But you've got to, like, you got, like, seriously. And to sit here, I'm sitting. To sit here right now and look at all of you. Eric, don't mail it back, dude. Drive down here and see me, and let's get your website going, dude. I got clients on here. Jason Hallen, I'm doing work for him. Let everybody, hey, all right, social pressure time. Would everybody send Eric Brower a private message and say, dude, hire Ken Walls. Mastering Fear. That's it, dude. I'm so sorry. You're right. It's Mastering Fear. It's Mastering Fear. And he says in this book, by the way, he says in the book, he talks about fear. Everybody looks at fear and says, oh, you got to overcome your fears. You got to push through your fears. And he's like, no, man, no. And he tells some great analogies about that, by the way. And it's really, really good. And it makes all the logical sense in the world. He's like, use fear as your motivator. Use fear to push you. It's not something you, like, he goes, I forget what the analogy was. It was something about running into a bunch of bullets coming at you. Like, oh, I'm getting rid of all my fear and I'm going to jump off the 5th floor of this building. Like, no, that fear is meant to protect you also. Like, you know what I mean? And it can be, you can master the fear. That's what it is. It is mastering fear. Thank you for that, Tristan. So, like, that book is really good. I got the Audible version. It's freaking amazing. I mean, a Navy SEAL teaching you how to overcome your fears. Can't really think of anybody better, more qualified than that. But anyway, hey, Larry, how you doing, man? Good to see you. So, Eric Brower, let's do it, man. Let's roll. I'm going to call you tonight. Anyway, so listen, man, like, you just gotta, you sent it to Eric, my man, my brother, Jason Hallen, closing deals for me. I appreciate you. And Eric's a good dude. We just haven't connected. We gotta get this thing rolling, bro. So anyway, look, you've got to take the actions to get you to the next level. Like, if you're stuck, if you're living in fear, if you don't have any self-confidence, you've got to do the things that are going to give you self-confidence. You've got to do that. What's up, Jorge? My man, my brother, how you doing? You've got to do the things that are going to give you self-confidence. You do. And that means whatever. I don't know what that is for you. Go freaking run. Run down the street and run back. Get your blood moving. Like I said, when I start feeling down or whatever, I go outside and I'll shoot some baskets for a little bit just to get because it's not necessarily feeling down. Sometimes it's just I'm tired. And when you're tired and you're staring at a computer or you're as Sharon Lecter said, you're very sedentary and you don't move around a lot, maybe in your job or whatever, like, dude, you got to get up and move. You got to get up and move. You got to get the blood flowing. You got to get up and move. Your brain needs that. You got to make sure that you're go to a crowded elevator and thank everyone for coming out. That's perfect, dude. Exactly. Hey, I'd like to thank you all for coming out today. Stay hydrated. What's up, Muhammad? How you doing? You don't get tired. You're nonstop. I get tired, dude. Sometimes I get tired. I do get tired. But like, honestly, I was talking to a friend of mine today. I said, dude, he said that he was going to bed at 10 o'clock or 10:30. And I'm like, I'm so envious of people that can do that, man. I've tried it. I've tried it many, 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 many times, and I lay there wide awake until 1:30 in the morning, and then I fall asleep because I'm so tired. Like, I can't get to sleep. It's weird. I started right out of high school. I worked at the Honda factory, and I worked second shift building cars, right? And the second shift doesn't end until 1 in the morning. And back then I used to drink a lot. So I'd go out and drink until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And I did that for almost 3 years. And it's never changed, man. I've ever since then, like I've tried because I've had moments where I many days where I get up early at 5:30 or 6 o'clock. But man, that's not the norm for me. I'm normally not. I normally am not in bed until 1:30. It's crazy. But like that's all right. I get a lot accomplished because I work 15, 16 hours a day every day. And those of you that know me that have been to my house, Tiffany knows. Ask Tiffany. I'm nonstop. Ask her. Right now, she's been here. She was here for training with me and my wife, and I'm telling you, like, I don't stop. I do not stop. When I get up, I go, and I mean, I go and I go and I go, and I don't stop. So anyway, this isn't about me. This is about how to get out of a funk. If you're in a downward spiral, man, you got to do stuff that's going to get you out of that. You got to do stuff. You got to take the action. You got to take the action, man. You got to pick up a book and read it. You got to listen to something. And I'm not talking about Metallica. I'm not talking about AC/DC. That's fine if you want to listen to that stuff, man. If it gets you fired up, that's cool. I get that. Listen to it for 15 minutes or 10 minutes. Get fired up. Do your thing. But if you're driving down the road, and you're thinking, and you're driving and you're like, man, I'm so bored. Let me turn on the radio and see what's that one dude's name? What's his name? The guy, you know who I'm talking about. The guy, no, you don't. Never mind. You don't know. Rush Limbaugh. Let's see what Rush Limbaugh's talking about today. Or let's listen to NPR radio and see how bad the world is. Or, hey, let's listen to this. Let's listen to that. Listen to Thug Nasty Rap. What's that all about? Like, don't do that, man. Don't, like, it's GIGO, GIGO. Garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you're feeding your mind with is what will come out in your life. That is what will come out in your life. It will manifest in your life. You will become a thug nasty rapper. Tiffany, you're going to be a thug nasty rapper. Like, no, you just got to look, whatever it is you want in life, right? I mean, maybe if that's what you want, you want that in your life. Hey, listen to all the thug nasty you want to listen to. But for me, if I'm listening to something, because normally if I'm in the car, I'm making phone calls, man. I'm networking, I'm making calls, I'm doing business, I'm doing everything I can all the time. But like, hey, if I have I don't have anybody to call, or I can't think of anybody to call, I'm gonna Tiffany's laughing. I'm gonna like, study releases more serotonin than MDMA does. MDMA. What's MDMA? Come on, Jorge. I know you ain't listening to that all the time. But you can't look. Again, there's so many people on social media I've seen that are like, man, I'm balling. I want to be a baller. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I love me some Celine. I love me some Celine. I just don't, I can only take about 10 minutes of music a day, but I know you're on Audible. I know you are. I know you listen to all that stuff. So, who's Jim Rohn? Oh, Jim Rohn. Rohn. So, but like, you know, I love some Celine. She's got she's an angel. She's got an angelic voice. But I wouldn't listen to more than 1 or 2 songs a year of hers. And I might listen to a little bit of Thug Nasty once a year. But like, I don't like, there's new music, everybody. I hear people say it. Mike Scott, what's up? People say all the time, like, hey, did you hear that new song by No, man, I didn't. Did you hear that new book by Jeffrey Gitomer? Did you hear that new book by Brandon Webb? Oh, you didn't? That's because you're filling your mind with garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you put in here is what's going to manifest in your life, I promise you. So remember that. That's one of my favorite sayings. Let's see, that's good because I never found value in MD. What is MDMA? Is that like Run DMC? Like it's tricky? How's your family member doing? My family member's doing good. Happy indoor. Yes, I agree. It does. Absolutely. Books and phone calls. That's right, Eric. And Eric, I know you drive a lot, dude. You drive a lot. So what is MDMA? Could somebody please tell me what MDMA is? MDMA. Why can't I think of what that would stand for? I've been listening to A Path to Wisdom by Tony J. Salimi. Okay. Awesome. MDMA. It's a drug? It's a drug? What is it? MDMA? Oh, ecstasy. It's ecstasy? Man, I gotta get caught up. Everybody on here knows. Everybody but me knows what it is. Holy crap. How do y'all know what that is? Holy moly. Like, what the heck? Isn't that date rape drug or something? What the heck? So like, I don't know what else to say. Feed your mind with good stuff, man. Feed your mind with good stuff. If you feed your mind with garbage, your life will produce garbage, I promise you. If you're feeling depressed, look around you. Look around you. They told you it was vitamin B. Look around you. Seriously, just look around. Take a look at the people around you. Take a look at who's in your immediate environment. And especially take a look at what you're feeding your mind with. And with that, I'm out of here. You guys, thank you all for the shares. Thank you for being on here, listening to me rant. I just, I went through that interview with Sharon Lecter again today when I did the rebroadcast all by myself. That's one of my favorite songs, Eric. I used to sing that I'd sing that to myself just so I could get more depressed. Because that's, don't want to be all by myself. I know. So, but Sharon Lecter's interview, I watched it again, or I had it replayed it this morning, and I'm telling you, I was like, man, this woman knows her stuff. You gotta know your stuff. You're gonna sell 30 million books. So, anyway, listen, you guys have a great night. Eric Cornelius, thank you for stopping in. Randy Hunt, thank you. Mitchell Manning, thank you. Appreciate all of you. You guys have an awesome night, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning on Breakthrough Walls. I got another special guest tomorrow, so see you tomorrow. Peace.